Okay guys, so we're back inside of Path of Exile 2 and we've got loads to go over. Today as we're looking at more nerfs happening to some more skills, and they have obviously announced it and pushed the patches through that happened at some stage today, as well as an alleged buff in the loot drop. Now obviously GGG have already stated they rarely announce loot drop changes just because they don't like to push that narrative all too often. So we're going to take a look at everything that's happening inside of the game right now and what it is that's actually changed, as well as your opinion on the game overall, as there are a lot of complaints happening about the difficulty, which is absurd. Nonetheless, we're going to dive on into it. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. And if you want to get hold of the game for free in the early access state, all you have to do is head down to the comment section right now and put a snowflake to celebrate the Christmas season. We're going to give away a code for the game for you guys to celebrate the Christmas period. That's simple, and we'll announce it next weekend going forward. Thanks again, and let's see what's happening inside of the game. So starting off, we received a tweet earlier on this morning stating, currently it's a bit too easy to detonate gas cloud explosions when combined with the persistent ignite skills like flame wall. We'll be adjusting the explosion damage of both gas grenade and gas arrow for now on in an upcoming hot patch. Now that's obviously just released today. Now it states here, in the future we want to update it such that the potency of the ignite or detonator contributes to determining the damage of the cloud gas explosions. That way we'd be able to avoid balancing around the simplest and most efficient way to apply ignites, which does actually sound pretty damn fair. I think that the way that they've done it genuinely does work wonders, and hopefully we will see some positives coming from it. Now my friend himself utilizes the gas grenades. I can't speak for myself, as obviously I don't play every single build under the sun, but he states that it does still feel pretty damn good, and he's still enjoying the way that the weapon actually feels with the gas grenades and igniting them afterwards. So you should still be able to enjoy it, and it should still feel pretty powerful without it being balanced and nerfed to a degree of just not being usable. That's not what they're trying to do with these changes. Now, one thing that was changed though in the 0.1.0 hotfix 9 this morning was that they fixed a bug that caused some characters to be unable to log in. They fixed a bug related to monster life scaling in parties, and they fixed an instance crash as well. They also had another patch note update that went up just afterwards, which again had the gas grenade explosion changes in it. And just to give you guys the numbers, they had a reduction to 150% to 246% at gem level 120, which was previously 240 to 749%. So quite a significant drop, although not anything that is going to stop you being able to do the active damage. So you can still enjoy that one quite nicely. And the gas arrow again was changed as well from 100 and 312% at gem levels 1 to 20, which was previously 250 to 780. So again, quite a big drop there. The numbers don't lie, and hopefully it will still be a viable option for all of you guys. Next up, they temporarily disabled the blood-soaked character effect microtransaction. No idea why. I've had a bit of a rummage around and I can't figure out a reason as to why that's the case, but that's been temporarily disabled. They fixed an issue where some players could get stuck on a loading screen infinitely, which that's been something that a lot of people have had an issue with. And they fixed a bug where you could not refund the Atlas passive skills when using a controller, which again apparently was also a big problem. They fixed a bug with automatic gateway selection when playing on console, and they fixed a client crash that would occur when toggling the hide login email options, as well as fixing 4 other client crashes and 2 other instance crashes. Now this patch was deployed without restarting the servers. Obviously you'll have to restart the client to get the client changes, but as an overall it was just being issued in, and you should feel the difference absolutely straight away. Now it's an interesting factor, and I'm liking the fact that they're making these quote-unquote nerfs, although it is a little bit of a strange one. I do think that this definitely needs to happen, and if it's one thing Path of Exile are known for, it's for having a balanced games with the attributes actually working as intended. PoE was pretty much renowned for it, and there wasn't really a meta. You did have favorite builds, but that was basically mainly revolved around your playstyle, not really revolved around what was more powerful. To be fair, I think build guides are going to be really hard for people to do on this game once you get right to the end game. With the amount of nodes and stuff floating around on this, I'll be surprised if you haven't got an hour and 20-minute video to explain how they did this build, but it's going to be an interesting one. But we're going to talk about loot, because this seems to be the biggest conversation breaker at the moment inside of Path of Exile 2, and something that I did feel myself over the last act, which we are just coming into the end of Act 2 now in my playthrough, with around 20 odd hours playtime. This is a very, very interesting conversation. Now, obviously, they don't communicate this info. We're going to get into that in just a minute, but when they change the loot timing and the way that loots drop, they don't generally let you guys know. I don't know as to why, but apparently it's just one of the things that they don't generally do. Now, there was a post that went up that said this right here about 4 hours ago. Loot from half a T2 map. Obviously not every map looks like this, but some people posting images with only one rare item in an entire map just spreading misinformation. It's not that bad. And as you can see right here, there is absolutely loads. Absolutely loads. We've got loads of different support stones, we've got loads of different spirit stones, and so on and so forth, and loads of different gear that are able to be utilized from that rare item region. Now, obviously this looks very good, and you guys may be wondering, well, why doesn't mine actually look like that? Well, actually now it will. We've had loads of new reports of the loot actually being somewhat good, and this has been an interesting one because apparently they have been sorting out the drop rates, and it was allegedly buffed this morning based on how people are talking about it. So from an experienced player, somebody put, playing the game, GGG has already stated they rarely announce loot drop changes. The confirmation comes from numerous players reporting they are experiencing a noticeable change from one day to the next. That's the best source you're ever going to get, all things considered. And if that's generally the case, then hopefully they do announce something soon with regards to it, as it would kind of silence a lot of the community on that complaint basis, but it doesn't silence absolutely everybody. Let me know in the comment section if you guys are feeling a difference with the loot. I actually, thinking about it, have had a decent run through today, although probably not incredible. It's definitely a lot better than what I was at yesterday. Anywho, we're going to talk about some people that just can't be kept happy. This post right here is an odd one, and I want to know what you guys are thinking in the comments with this post and whether you agree with it or not. It states right here, absolutely disappointed. This game is hard and not in a fun way. I've been playing PoE for years and I have thousands of hours in the game. Today I played PoE 2 for about 5 hours and rage quit. I failed to kill the Act 1 boss 10 times. I have 22 deaths, and honestly, it's not fun. The reason why I play PoE is that I do not have to be Zazarian to enjoy it. Let's be honest, I've played 1,000 hours and I'm not good at it. Do you know how many times I've killed Maven without being hit by the memory game? I've never been able to dodge it with all the beams. It's a matter of skill, but you know, it never mattered because I had a freaking 6 portals, and by getting a lot more gear than what was the good players having, I can finally do it. In softcore, of course. And in the campaign, I can try and kill Brutus multiple times on a brand new character. I was never able to pass a second map without being killed by Rose, but at least once since the rework of Act 1. I just can't. I try, I'm not good. It didn't matter because I could progress anyways. The dodge and die mechanic is boring to me. I do not play Souls games because they are boring. There are other people that do like that. It's totally fine, but it's not the gaming I like. PoE 2 feels a lot more like a Souls than PoE 1 in my honest opinion. That's why I rage quit. Now, he does go on a little bit more of a tangent and he just keeps on going, but I don't actually think I agree with this. I think that actually I'm not really good at Souls games. I think the only one I really did succeed at was Elden Ring, and that's pretty much speaks for itself. It's a relatively novice version of a Souls-like game, and other than that, I am horrendous. I didn't play Path of Exile 1, and I'm having a great time on this game. I'm pretty much getting through Act 2 right now and moving into Act 3. I'm not going to be any speedrunner anytime soon, but the game is still enjoyable, and I'm still slowly progressing. If you can't defeat a boss, you have to go away, go back into the worlds, take a look around the maps, level up, get some new gear, do that progressive movement, and then go back into the boss. They've already stated this throughout previous interviews where Jonathan genuinely stated the game has so much more in it, you're not just meant to boss run all the way through. And I think that people are having a lot of misconception when it comes to how this game genuinely plays. It's meant to be a little bit more opened up, and with what you can actually do, what you can see, what you can find, and how you can actually defeat these bosses. Sometimes you have to fiddle with numbers. That's pretty much the PoE way. The bit that's different is just how the mechanic playstyle works, with it being a little bit more difficult and actually having to roam around the actual world to be able to unlock new things. That's pretty much my partake on it. But I want to know what your guys is in the comment section below. Do you agree with this guy, or do you think that it's just essentially that they're just trying to run straight through bosses and they're probably not leveling up accordingly, enjoying the rest of the content that's available inside of the game? I'm intrigued to know what your opinions are. With that being said, though, that's unfortunately we've got time for today. If you haven't already, smash that like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. Thanks again for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the clouds.